Hi everyone, we should be in the final part of the electromagnetism now. Now for this session is going to be pretty long. It's going to be very long, so pay close attention. And you need to revise through your Fleming left-hand rule and the structure of your motor. Please revise through these two things because later on during the explanation you need to recall back these two structures. One is the Fleming left-hand rule, and the other one is this the structure of a DC motor. Okay, so if you cannot recall, remember these two, please stop the video now and go and revise them first. Right? Otherwise, there'll be too many questions inside your head. And if you're to ask your friends or you're going to ask me, it goes back here. Alright? So get to know these structures first. Or alternatively, what you can, if you have the structure open beside you on this video, so they can refer to them. Okay, there's a few things I need to take note of. Note the naming of the four corners of this coil. So note how these four corners are named. There's A, B, C, D. Okay, we'll be referencing the direction of the current using A, B, C, and D. What do I mean by that? Now, you look at this diagram, the current flows from positive terminal, flow through the carbon brush, that's P, flow through the carbon brush, flow through the split ring commutator, and through the coil A, B, C, D, through the carbon brush Q and back to the negative terminal of the cell. Now note that throughout this whole thing, I think when you hear the word motor, you more or less get the idea that something is going to rotate. Right? And during this rotation, things are going to change. Note the position AD. Note this position AD and how they're connected to the commutator P and Q. And note that this A is now connected to this split ring, and this D is now connected to the other split ring. I need you to take note of the position at this moment because I'm going to start from here. And this is the starting. Right, this will be the starting point. Now, when this coil is horizontal and the circuit is closed, current flows from the positive terminal of the battery through the carbon brush, through the split ring, through the coil, as mentioned here, through the coil A, B, C, D, back to the negative terminal. The purpose of this video helps to understand the function of this split ring. Right, we need to understand the function of this split ring and how the direction of the current flow in the coil. Okay, it requires some time for this information to digest, so please pay careful attention and you really need to start thinking a lot. Now let's start with the coil in this position as shown. Right, when the switch is on, the current flows along the coil in the direction ABCD. As mentioned earlier, the current at A, as you see here, enters the plane. So we are going to see this from a two-dimensional point of view because it's easier to see that way. The current at A goes into the plane and the direction at D comes out of the plane. Now you're going to use Fleming left-hand rule at point A. Okay, focus at this region here. Right, focus this region here. We're going to use Fleming left-hand rule at point A. Middle finger points out of the plane, index finger points from north to south. The thumb now points downwards. And hence, A will move down. if you were to use Fleming left hand rule on point D, middle finger points out of the plane, index finger points left to right, you realize that your thumb now moves up. And you recall this axis here. This is the pivot. Okay, this is the pivot. So that means it's not as if A is going to continue to go downwards and B is going to continue to go upwards. It doesn't happen that way. Right? What is going to happen is, because there's a pivot in the center, that means the coil is going to rotate anti-clockwise with a pivot in the center. The coil is going to rotate anti-clockwise. Alright. And note that the split ring A and D, the split ring indicated by the color code blue and green, not A and D, A and D is the coil. The split ring indicated by color code blue and green will turn together with the coil as shown here. So you continue